From the 1011 Now streaming studio, this is 1011's Morning Pulse.
Good morning, I'm Danielle Shenk with your Morning Pulse for Monday, April 15th, 2024. A deadly single-car crash that claimed 2 lives in Lincoln is under investigation. Lincoln police say the driver lost control, rolled and hit a tree at South 28th Street and Pine Lake Road on Sunday morning. 2 passengers, 1 ejected, died at the scene. While the driver has non-life-threatening injuries, alcohol is believed to be a factor and charges are pending against the driver. In the Panhandle, authorities are investigating a train derailment in Chappell on Sunday. At around 5:30 p.m., crews responded to the scene of a Union Pacific train with at least a dozen cars off the tracks. An evacuation of the west side of town was lifted about 2 hours later. The contents of the derailed cars are currently unknown, as is the duration of the cleanup process. Stick with 1011 News for updates. Funeral services for Ceresco police officer Ross Bartlett have been announced. Visitation will be on Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. at Roper & Sons South Chapel, with the funeral on Friday at 10 a.m. at St. Mark's United Methodist Church. Bartlett died on Friday after his cruiser was hit by a Ford F-150 on Highway 77 during a traffic stop. He served in Nebraska law enforcement for 30 years. Lincoln Transportation and Utilities is urging safety for National Work Zone Awareness Week. This year's theme is Work Zones Are Temporary, Actions Behind the Wheel Can Last Forever. In the U.S., 891 people died in work zones in 2022. To keep zones safe, it's important to plan ahead, obey street crews and signs, and slow down. Lastly, women nationwide were recently honored at the nation's capital for their contributions during World War II, including one Rosie the Riveter from Pawnee City. 101-year-old Lila Tomek says her experience in D.C. was overwhelming as she and others gathered to receive the Congressional Medal of Honor. The ceremony recognized the 6 million women who entered the workforce in response to the nation's call for help during the war.
First, the men weren't happy about that. But then they started taking the men out and wasn't enough help, so they decided the women could do the job, and we did.
Tomek was 19 when she applied to work at a bomber plant in Omaha as a riveter, seeing it as a way to bring her younger brothers who had been drafted back home. Rounding out your headlines is a check of the 7-day forecast.
You've been listening to 1011's Morning Pulse. Watch, listen, stream on the 1011 Now app, on YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.